Indie Soul Rhythms with Moochie Alfonso, bringing you the very best in indie soul.
Hi, this is Ali Starr, hanging out with soul brother Moochie Alfonso on Indie Soul Rhythms. It's got to be the grooviest show on the planet. Keep it locked in.
We have with us songwriter, vocalist, MC, DJ, remixer, producer, Terri Green, aka Terri B. Welcome to Indie Soul Rhythms.
Thank you so much. And you forgot to say lunatic and insane asylum, because I'll just, when you say that list, it just makes me go, what?
Is it just one person?
Yeah.
I'm sure our listeners cannot wait to hear your story. Shall we get into it?
Sure, I'm ready. Yeah, let's jump in and move.
Excellent. I always like to start from the very beginning. So I always like to know how you got started, where you're from, and what got you into music.
So the very beginning, let's go back. I'm a military brat, so my parents were both Air Force. So I come to Europe even as young as 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And I went to 9 schools in 12 years. So that's before I went to university. I went to Florida A&M in Tallahassee, Florida,
Right.
when I was in college, university. So I really had a lot of moving around. And one thing I found, and I remember in 1977, 6, 7, how I was in love with Barry White and Donna Summer and 10cc. It was a whole mixture, because that's what you were hearing, and Barry Manilow especially. And so my father always said you have to listen to multiple genres to be really knowledgeable about music. So I used music kind of as my best friend, because every time you move, you met new kids. Okay, I got to fight these. I got to be friends with these. Okay, these are like, what is happening? So every community was very different.
Yeah.
Socioeconomically, racially diverse or not diverse. So I always had to figure out how I'm going to survive.
Yeah.
And music was my babysitter. I was the oldest of 2 children, and we didn't have the money like some people just do their careers with lessons and all of that. But I did have a grandmother in Florida where every time we had a break, we go to Florida. All the kids, grandchildren, we just kind of met there. So that was kind of a place where we called home. It's like a second home. And all we did was talent shows. Everyone now, when I'm in DC, they just came to a show. They're like, you made us do talent show. We're glad it paid off, because we were tired of hearing you.
Yeah.
But I was always a musical kid, and always singing, always interested in writing, always trying to make my own 2-track studio, 2 cassettes, and you keep putting them back and forth.
Yeah.
I just, in my own ingenuity, figured out it was all about music. But my father and mother, being Black parents as they were, said, singing is cute, but you need to get a degree. You need to go get yourself educated. So I studied economics in Florida, earned a bachelor's of science in business economics. And then the first job was Germany. I didn't even care how much they paid. I was like, Europe, yeah, I'm going home, kind of. Not England, but I'll figure it out. Because England feels like home for Americans in kind of way. So then I went to Ramstein, the biggest base in Europe, and was managing in diversity, which used to be popular, I guess. And I was a diversity instructor, a retail manager. I did all of these things in one job. So they were sending me on the road, going to Lakenheath, UK, or Chevrolet, Belgium, whatever, and then still running facilities with $1 million budgets. So I really multitasked. And then I was in the clubs on Saturday and just kind of meeting producers. And I did my first recording of my life in a shopping mall in Saarbrücken. A guy called me and said, I want to work with you. And I was like, I don't know how to record. So let's see. I recorded it. It was a really nice song. And then I found my way to Frankfurt, which started the 90s stuff. So the LaBouche producers didn't know that I was 6 months pregnant. So we prepared the whole release.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, they weren't LaBouche. They had not yet signed Melanie, but I was like 1 or 2 months before. So I just kind of left and said, let's put this on the back. burner. And by the time I figured out it was them, Amir, who's still my best friend till today, they were really famous, like 5 million sold, 20 million sold. And I found my way to Hamburg with the Modern Talking producer, Luis Rodriguez. Then I went into the charts at #1 in Spain and Italy with the dance song, Oh La La La, which also was top 13 in the UK. So I was touring the whole UK. I was everywhere. But in a group and not singing what I wanted to sing. Somebody had tried to go to Top of the Pops lip syncing my voice, but they realized that wasn't going to work. And so they said, no, we got to get Terri in the group. It's not going to work because she got a unique voice.
Yeah.
We thought it's kind of draggy, but it's Terri. So whatever. I joined the band, and that led to me doing Future Breeze and Marky Cloud and touring with Guetta and working with Avicii. And just, I'm on the phone now with Bob Sinclair, you know, did the big, what song? He did the big World Cup song a few World Cups back. I'm always involved in dance. So 1,000 plus records. I said, I'm still not satisfied.
Right.
And I met Steve Ripley in London. I said, I've done a lot, but I don't want to talk about Terri B. I would like me and Torsten to do, who's my partner for the Terri Green project. I want to talk about soul, because soul is still my bread and butter of who I am, my DNA.
So
first record, Night to Remember, went straight to #1, and he called me and said, don't get so happy. Yeah, they like the record, BBC, Tony Blackburn, everybody loves it, but you're going to have to long journey before you'll ever get everybody to like it. Oh man, you just shot down my energy. And that's kind of how I landed in the UK. I'd already toured the world once by the time 2019 came and the UK started to hear what we were doing. And I was almost ready to say, okay, should it be retirement? But the soul thing just bothered me that I had not achieved those records and that sound.
Right.
And just 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, maybe it's within this month, JJ Williams, who's actually just went through with Shaka all over the world. She was in the UK. He was on Tiny Desk, you know, the drummer.
Yeah.
And JJ was behind me on stage because he's playing on my next single, Worth It. And I said, JJ, you know how long I waited for you to be sitting there? He's like, girl, you're so crazy. So I did an interview with him for my podcast, just talking about the journey and how people kept opening doors.
Yeah.
And I kept saying prayers and they just kept being answered because I felt very, very passionately about that. So that's just kind of how I got to the UK. And now I'm really, you know, rubbing around with really, you know, Gerald Alston. I'm supposed to talk to him in the next days. From the man, huge fan of mine. No, I heard he likes Terri Green, but he didn't know who I am. He's like, I keep hearing about this Terri Green. And I'm a huge fan of his. Let's correct that. Because I could not sing like women. So I took, I had to hear you here today. You know, these kind of records.
Yes.
I could go with the men. That's how I got it. So not to over talk it, but that's pretty much the story.
Amazing. Amazing. You know what? I was looking out for you in June. You were supposed to come to Wimbledon. So I kept looking at my mail like, oh, maybe she's going to drop me a mail.
Just this year. I got them last year. And he was like, well, I don't think I can do it this year.
Yeah.
Like, next year might be better. So I'll probably try to show up next year. Because I didn't even know. I don't play tennis. My partner, he's a tennis freak. He didn't leave the seat all day, Toddy Reed. The saxophonist, my partner. He never left the chair. We were like high tea. You know, we had a really good seat, like in a box.
Yeah.
Because this guy's really fancy. So Todd said, how are you getting Wimbledon? You don't even know. Because people just like me. Like, they just like, you want to go. So his name is Brian Morris. He runs Austria Worldwide, and he is at Wimbledon. He lives 100 meters from the gate.
Right.
So that's why we were like, well, what do I do when the ball, I just have to go like, you know, look back and forth. But it was a real experience. It was insane.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah. So tell me, what would you be doing if you're not making music?
Okay, there's two levels. There's levels to this. So the job I would love to have had would be a teacher. I know they don't get the maximum amount. Like for me, work has never been about money.
Yeah.
I like money, but I don't like it when people are crazy and psychotic with billions. And I just never understood why you need so much money. But teachers do incredible work because they prepare the minds and the hearts and the soul of children, youth, especially 12, 8, 7, 6. So teaching is something I wanted to do very desperately.
Right.
The other thing is my job that no one would expect would be Starbucks. Because I could go there and be successful, you know, talking and just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
I love drinking coffee and talking to people. So when I go there, I stay all day in New York. I go to Manhattan, I'm in the Starbucks all day. It's from morning till night, just chilling. So somehow I kind of love worked at McDonald's. I've done every job. Kitchen chef, salad chef, dishwasher, birthday girl at the McDonald's, you know, the food to put on the clown's outfit, the grimace. I did that. Bus person, a lot of gritty work, clean toilets, was a buyer intern, worked at Bloomingdale's, all of this before I was even 25. So I think people have to really think about, I'm never afraid for somebody to talk about, well, you might not be able to sing. Well, okay, I know how to do work. I'm good. My grandma was a maid. We know how to work. And I've always been active, you know. I get very bored sitting still.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do so many things. Have a radio show that's probably more than 10 years running. And people see me, she's in this, she's in that. Because I'm just like, what's next?
Yeah.
I'll rest in the coffin. That's what I'm going to do, the resting. And just try to stay fit, try to stay healthy.
Amazing. And got to ask you a couple of fun questions. So with regards to your music, what's the best compliment you've ever got?
You sound unique. Your voice doesn't sound like anyone else.
Right. That's true.
They know it's me. Even when I try to be tricky, you know, some records, like this is going on for 2 months with me and Bob Sinclair. It's a whole story.
Yeah.
I wanted to work with this cat. And when I got to New York, we got in the club and I screamed at the marquee, you know, the marquee. I screamed all night with some young 19-year-old DJs I was working with. So by the time Bob and his Jamaican manager, Rodney, we met, he's like, come with us to the club. I couldn't speak. So by the time I got with Calvin Richardson to the studio with him, I had no voice, and they're like, well, you're not going to be able to sing it. Terri, why you said so strange to me? You know how you talk. And I was like, I'm sorry. So we ended up writing it for Martha Wash. So I did write with him. But now we've been going back like 3-4 weeks now with a song that I clearly told him he should put a young artist on. And he finally agreed with me. Yeah. And now I'm actually recording something for him tonight. More house, my, you know, what I do. And yeah, you know, because he had this really great record. Feel for you, baby. Feel for you, baby.
And that's a house track.
Yeah, that was one of his early records. So that's what I want to do.
Right.
He sent me some 2025, you know, young white girl that sings great. That ain't me. I couldn't do it. So that's just where we are. You know, he sent me something way out of my pocket. So I was like, okay, that didn't work. But we love each other. So,
and what's the worst piece of advice you've ever got?
Well, my music teacher in 12th grade, I had a lot of I transferred from Hampton, Virginia to Columbia, Maryland. And Virginia schools were not on par with Maryland schools, which is how America is. So I was a senior in the class with sophomores and freshmen on some classes. In my music class, he was like, oh, you can't sing soprano. You shouldn't sing. You don't have a good voice for singing. And I was like, oh, that's mean. Somehow it didn't really faze me when she said it. I just kind of said, whatever, I'll just get better at this. And that's what I did. It's amazing how many people have called my friends, ex-friends, boyfriends, and said, yo, where's T? I'd love to get on the record. Well, you're the one that said I couldn't sing. Yeah. But I didn't like that I didn't sound, you know, I wasn't Bridgerton, you know. So I don't know. It can be very disappointing because I was very young. And I don't think teachers should say stuff like that, but
absolutely. Yeah.
they do.
Absolutely. Yeah. they can make or break kids by what they say. And I've got a 14-year-old daughter, and sometimes she comes up and she says, "My teacher said this to me," and it kind of knocks her confidence. So she feels like, okay, I can't do this, so I'm not gonna try because my teacher said I
It's
can't.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
son knows. My son's a designer in New York. He's working with Jeff Henderson, who did the Yeezy 350s and shoes for Jordan and Carmelo and all of this. And he's at a level like he's in his zone where he should be. But he calls me. I get constantly a phone call, "Yo, mom, without you," because I probably would have not fought for it. I said,
Yeah.
first, ain't nobody trying to be lazy. And number two, don't tell me about mediocrity. Like, let me see how far you can take it,
Yeah.
and I'll be the judge if you've done your very best.
Absolutely.
We're not gonna, because people would tell them, "Oh, you're not good at that," or "You do well." But so no matter how many times, if I would never advise, especially my son or my child, to pursue when it's clear if they don't even that's just not working. Like I would be real. But I knew he had to give from 4 or 5. So
Yeah.
he could play basketball and he could draw shoes. And both of those things he did professionally. So he thanks me for being real. I ain't telling him to pick up the singing microphone. That's a little stretch. But he can rap. He's on the next single, the Worth It record, which I'm going to send over. You haven't sent it out yet. But yeah, you have to be optimistic, find a way.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should try this.
Yeah. Absolutely. You've talked about working with Avicii, Bob Sinclair, Roger Sanchez. What would you say you took from those experiences?
Everyone is a normal human being. When me and David were together at first, before I was kind of fan struck when I saw him. We weren't working yet at a party in Denmark. I was like, calling my man, "Oh, I think David's here. I really want to meet him." And at that time, he had just had the song with Chris, so they were just still on what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So he was still very, very accessible to people. And I said, "I want to know him. I think he's sweet and I think he's cool." He said, "Terry, you're the best person to introduce yourself. I know David, but you just walk over and do you." And it worked. He said, "Take my email." They called me dumb. I said, "What?" So I tried to figure out with the French accent what he had said, because he gave me the email address. And he did it 3 times, and then the bodyguard got really upset, like, "We have to go." And I said, "Okay, if I really mess this up, I'll just ask the management." But after 3 tries, it went through and he answered me. And from that time on, we were buddies.
All right.
But everybody is a normal trouble in paradise, stuff going on with kids. VT was sick when I first went to Miami to meet them, and I'd already done one record because I wanted to be on his next album.
Yeah.
Because I always did, people don't know, I write a lot of country folk stuff in-house. I always did that, just naturally. So they were really like, "Yo, this is perfect." And he was sick when I got to Miami. Huge VT sounds like it was all about him that year. And I went, "This is strange. He's sick. If he's sick now," I thought it was just drinking or whatever, but I never met him after that. Like he was gone. And they called me. I was in Russia at a big club, and they said, "Terry, Avicii just passed." What? Not 100% shocked. Just shocked that no one was there from his family ever. Even in videos on Netflix, he mentioned me and Roger Sanchez were the first remix opportunity that he had that was big.
Right.
And he did that record, and that's what blew him up. He talks about it on Netflix, so I'd say, yes, there were Black people behind those dance records. And we almost did a TV show on MTV about it. Right. People like were in the background of people. So, yeah, it was just unfortunate that such young lives were gone too soon.
Yeah. It's really sad, though. Yeah. So tell us about your single "Caught Up." What is it about and what inspired it?
Well, let's see. I hope I don't put too much in the streets with this. I try to be really clever because I'll have a moment and I'm having a thought, but then I'll switch gears so people can't figure stuff. I think about all that when I'm writing. "Caught Up" was a record that I wrote. There's a much slower. I had met a guy called Reggie Staggers, who's the brother of Mark Staggers. And we he had this little melody idea. It wasn't a song, it was just kind of like diddle, 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 you know, whatever. I said, give me that. And I'm gonna put some instruments to it and I'm gonna write something. And then we kept going back and forth. And then I gave the mix over to Raheem's producer, Jamil Face Johnson, and he made me sound like I was like, yo, this is the way I want to sound. So Caught Up was basically caught up in the thought of you, caught up in the things you do. So, and I can't deny that I'm crushing on somebody. They're hot. I think they're hot. And I don't even know if they know it, but this is just everything about them in my universe makes me, smile, chuckle. You got butterflies. I think there's a lot I get cause you get butterflies when you come around or something. That's just that feeling when you first like someone.
Yeah.
And that's just what it was about. I like love. I love falling in love. I love writing about hard times and struggles because I use music for everything. So yesterday was Najee. I played pretty much Najee, old record from 1980 something when I first started listening to him. And I think it was at that Anita Baker cover on that album. That was yesterday. I didn't want to hear no voices. Then some days it's my sorority sister. I don't know if you know what's happening in America right now, but I'm a Delta and she's an AKA, Miss Kamala. Yes. So the whole Black universe is on fire. And the Jamaican, I think all of England is going to be like, sister, because she's the person that understands her biography. They're going to get to know that. Absolutely. We already knew it, but we're going to get to know she ain't scared of nobody. Yeah. And I just felt like it was, with the Caught Up record, I felt like finally I was hearing my voice the way I wanted it to sound.
Yeah.
And there's still more. I love the strings and, the things like some of the earlier Terri Green stuff we released in the UK. I will always do those records, but now I'm kind of really getting the project even on a note. The last UK soul #1 was a record. I think they had a record called Mesa was with Stokely. They have a record running around. And that guy on the record found me on the internet, Maurizio Martelli is on this record, playing and producing on this. He found me through a Norwegian guy, and we have a new jazz single coming out, which is, you couldn't tell me that Maurizio was going to be on some song with Mesa. So a friend of mine called me who plays for Mesa and knows her since decades. He's like, you got to start sending me some songs, because I think you two really will hit it off as friends. I said, I'm so in love with her voice. So she's definitely someone I think is one of the baddest chicks in the game. Yeah,
she's hot. Yeah, she's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing stuff. So you've talked about this new project. Is there anything else we can expect in 2024?
Oh, child, yeah. So the Worth It single's coming out. Then we got the jazz record with a guy called Tom Hansen and Maurizio Martelli. I featured him. So Maurizio's featured on this called Unexpected Love that I wrote and helped co-produce. That's coming out first in the US because we're promoting the R&B thing. And, some of you UK stations got kind of salty with me for not playing more R&B stuff. So I kind of made sure that after Caught Up, I come back actually with another R&B record. And I love it when everything ain't, boom, boom, boom all the time.
Yeah.
I like to get down with the get down. So, so next will be that. And then we have a project that I'm going to bring to the UK called Terri Green Soul Machine.
Okay.
And I just produced, which I'm going to sneak that over to you for a listen. I produced a single together with Shayla Prosper. And I was only on it as a producer and producer and executive on the record, and she called me and said, oh my God, I love it. Because I said, girl, them drums. So I called the guy who played for John B., happened to be a friend, John Lampkin III, and he did the drums. And me and my mixer, who's in Sydney, we kept going back and forth. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, not in the pocket. What'd you do? Nothing. No, sounds like disco. I want kunk, shock, kunk, shock. So I got that on the record. So I can't wait till Shayla's record comes out. Hopefully you get her on your show, but she's just one of the baddest chicks. I was so
She's one person I also need to get on my show. I'll reach out to her and see if we can
Please,
bring her
yeah.
on. Yeah.
We should be in March if everything
Okay.
works out. I'm talking to Simon and see if we can get over and do like Pizza Express together. We want to do like a 3-day,
Right.
three events, 2 or 3 with the American band. So I'd like to have either John or JJ on that gig. Wawa, who played for Teddy Pendergrass, also played on All Joe's I Want to Know, the guitar. He's actually going to come with me. He already agreed. So it's going to be an all-star band. We're not rolling up raggedy. We're going to do it right. So I want something that I can sell out. And I'll do a little bit of my Gladys Knight tribute stuff when I come over. So that'll pull in people who may or may not know what I'm doing. So it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to keep the fire burning in London.
Yeah. I'm excited already. March is too far now.
Yeah. Well, musicians tell me, what, they'll be like, you know what you should do? I'm like, dude, I'm just learning, I don't learn lyrics. He said, you need to do Gladys Knight. I was like, oh, no. I can't do that. So I saw him again. So one song, and then that song got me invited to the Baltic Soul Weekend. That's how we got that gig. I was in a bar, my friend's bar, singing Midnight Train to Georgia. The owner of the festival came, his friend, said, you need to go see this. And then I didn't know he was there. And he said, do you want to play at the Baltic Soul Weekender? I said, okay. And then we showed up and at first we weren't playing with the orchestra. Me, Kenny Thomas, they were on the, Kenny and Sister Sledge and Glenn Jones, they were all going to be with the orchestra, and we were in a small room. Yeah. After he heard me sing Gladys, he said, nah, I think we're going to put you on the
Oh, wow.
I said, I'm just happy to be there, man. So me and Dan are now buddy. He be calling me up. He's out of control. But yeah, just, if the music you got to feel what you do.
Absolutely.
And people feel it, I'm not in the business anymore to sell people on something I'm not good at. Like, I'm just sticking to my zone at 50 something. I'm not trying to be. I did that in dance,
Yeah.
And Tanya Evans lives in London, who did Culture Beat. We'll usually meet somewhere in London, Weather Girls, and we'll be singing and stomping in the restaurant. People trying to sing. We just have a really good time. So London's like our spot. We love it.
Life is for living. Yeah, life is for living. Gotta have fun.
That's true.
Well, Terri, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I'm sure all our listeners will agree. So once again, thank you for taking time and being with us. Wish you the very best in 2024. Hope you keep us posted with all these projects coming up. Looking forward to March. I'm going to put it in my diary. I don't know what date, but I'm just going to put March.
Well, I hope it's 2021, 22. That's the weekend I'm going for.
Right.
We have a big show here in Germany with, I think the Weather Girls are going to do it with me and and another guy from London. But I will keep you abreast of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I let you go, can you do us the honor of introducing Caught Up?
Okay, so what version we got now? We got the John Lampkin. So hey everybody, this is Terri Green, and you're here with my man Moochie in the mix, and this is our brand new single, Caught Up, the Go-Go DC Vibe mix with John Lampkin III. Don't forget to check us out, and thank you for having me, Moochie.
through too many changes, and I recognize what's real, it's real, I know what's real, yeah. It takes more than a clever conversation to make me fall the way I fell for you. Caught up in the thought of you, caught up in the things you do, baby, caught up in your love.